Hello students, in today class we will study about extrema. Extrema means maxima or minima for a function of two variables, not for a single variable. In today class we will study about maxima and minima, or in others language maxima and minima, also called extrema, optimization for a function of two variables. Then we have to study maxima and minima for a function of two variables, not for a single variables. Then first of all we study about working rule by deductive method. Then we try to obtain the results, following results. First of all we take z is equal to fxy be a continuous function of two variables. Here fxy is a function of two variables, not for a single variable. It means if we draw the graph of this function, then we obtain three-dimensional effect. Then we obtain three-dimensional graph, three-dimensional image of that function. Then first of all we see working rule stepwise. Then next we see these working rules, how we can obtain these working rules by Taylor's theorem. First of all, using the concept of partial derivative. Using the concept of partial derivative, not ordinary derivative. Using the concept of partial derivative, find fx, fxx, fy, fyy, fxy and fyx. By the using of partial derivative, we have to find following derivatives: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, given function is continuous. The given function is continuous in a particular interval or in domain, then fxy is equal to fyx. It means we have to calculate only 5 derivatives: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or here fxy is equal to fyx. Then we have to calculate only 5 derivatives. Now we try to understand what is the meaning of fx, fxx, fy, fyy, fxy, fyx. Then see, del f upon del x, del f upon del x is used for fx. It means if we have to find fx, then differentiate the given function partially with respect to x. If we have to differentiate partially with respect to x, then treat y as a constant. If we have to differentiate partially with respect to x, then treat y as a constant. So first of all, del f upon del x indicates fx. It may be written in the form of also f1. It means fx, f1 and del f upon del x are same things. is also called fxx f11. Similar way, del f upon del y is called fy. Del 2 upon del 2f upon del y square is called fyy. Del 2f upon del x into del y is called fxy, and in same way. It means if we have to find the maxima and minima of two variables, then first of all calculate this derivative using partial derivative concept. In second step of working rule, find the stationary points. If we have to find a stationary points, then take fx is equal to 0 and fy is equal to 0. If we take fx is equal to 0 and fy is equal to 0, then we obtain two equations. After solving these two simultaneous equations, we obtain one or more than one points. These points are called stationary points. It may be single, double or triple. In third step, calculate discriminant. Discriminant like a quadratic equation. And this discriminant is calculated by using fxx into fyy minus f square xy. For the sake of convenience, we take fxx as r, fxy as s, fyy as t. Then discriminant turned into rt minus s square. fxx r fyy t minus f square xy means s square. It means in third step we have to calculate discriminant at a stationary points. It means discriminant may be single, double, triplet. Now we see in fourth step of working rule, if d greater than 0, it means discriminant is positive, as well as second derivative with respect to x is also positive. Also positive means greater than 0. Then given function has relative minimum at given points. If given points be a comma b, then we can say that f has relative minimum at a comma b. fxx a comma b behaves like a coefficient of x square in quadratic equation. If we calculate only d and then decide relative minima or relative maxima or saddle point, not correct. If we have to calculate relative minimum or maximum or saddle point, then calculate d as well as fxx at that point, and if both are greater than 0, then given function has relative minimum at that point. If d greater than 0 means discriminant is positive, but second derivative with respect to x less than 0, then given function has relative minimum at that point. It means discriminant is positive, but second order partial derivative with respect to x is negative. Then we can say that given function is maximum at that It means we obtain highest point at that. It means we obtain lowest point at that point. Third possibility of discriminant, if d less than 0, then f has saddle point at a comma b. If d less than 0, then it is not necessary to calculate f(x)(x). If d less than 0, then we have then we can conclude. If d less than 0, then it is not necessary to calculate f(x)(x). We can predict it only by watching d less than 0. If d less than 0, then f has saddle point. Saddle point means given function has neither maximum nor minimum. At that point, it means at that point given function shows neither maximum nor minimum. Fourth working rule, fourth. If d greater than 0, it means if we calculate d and it is 0, then no conclusion can be drawn. If d less than 0, then no conclusion can be drawn. It means we cannot say it is either a maximum or minimum or a saddle point. If d less than 0, then we can say that it is inconclusive. It means no conclusion can be drawn. Here we calculate d as this way, f(x)(x) into fy minus f square xy. This d calculate by another way. This discriminant may be calculated as a Hessian matrix. Hessian matrix denoted by capital H. Then we form a square matrix of second order by writing f(x)(x), f(xy), fyx, fyy. Then we calculate determinant value of this Hessian matrix, det H. Then it turns into det form. It is a 2 by 2 determinant. Then we can solve easily by using the product of leading diagonal elements minus product of secondary diagonal elements. Here secondary diagonal elements is fxy and fyx, and this function is continuous at a particular interval or in given domain. In this situation, fxy and fyx both are equal. It is very important for maxima and minima or extrema for function of two variables. Then we can write f square xy. Here fxy and fyx both are equal. Then we can write fyx as fxy, and then it turn into f square xy. And this Hessian det of h turn into rt minus s square. It is very important Hessian matrix. In Lagrangian method of undetermined multipliers, we also use this Hessian matrix, and it is very important. Again we see the working rule for maxima and minima of two variables. First of all, we remember given function is continuous in a particular interval or a given domain. In first step, by using the concept of partial derivative, we have to calculate the following partial derivative. And these partial derivatives are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, given function is continuous, therefore fxy and fyx both are equal. It means we have to calculate only fxy. 1. It may be fxy or fyx. For sake of convenience, we take R as fxx, S as fxy, T as fyy. In second step, we have to find the stationary points like a critical points in single variable. In single variable, we calculate critical points by taking f dash x is equal to 0. But here we have to take fx is equal to 0. It means first order partial derivative with respect to x is equal to 0 and first order partial derivative with respect to y is equal to 0 because tangents are parallel to x-axis. If we take fx is equal to 0 and fy is equal to 0, then we obtain two simultaneous equations. These two simultaneous equations gives one or more than one point. At these stationary points, we calculate third step, the discriminant for extrema for a function of two variables, and this is calculated as fxx into fy minus fxy. Fxx treated as a small r, fyy treated as small t, fxy treated as small x. Then we calculate d is equal to rt minus s square. In fourth step, we see the nature of d like the discriminant of quadratic equation. If d greater than 0, then it is not necessary to say it is either maximum or minimum or saddle point. We have to see two necessary things. First d and second order partial derivative with respect to x. If both are positive, then we say that given function has a partial derivative, given function has a relative minimum at that point. In similar way, if d greater than 0 but fxx negative means less than 0, then f has relative maximum at that point. If d less than 0, if d less than 0, then we say that f has saddle point. It means given function has neither maximum nor minimum. In fourth step, if d is equal to 0, then no conclusion can be drawn about f. It means we cannot say it is either a maximum or minimum or a saddle point. Now we have to see how these steps are obtained. How these steps 1, 2, 3 and 4 are obtained. Okay. Now we see how we can obtain the following